Freya is 4 months old. Count 1, go, wait. Good girl, come and sit. Yes. Hey y'all, what is up? It is Marissa, Nicole, and welcome back to my channel. I have little Miss here with me today because today's video is all about her. If you guys watched the video last month, we did a day in the life of Freya as a 3-month-old Aussie or Australian Shepherd. Y'all loved the video. I really like doing these kinds of videos because it'll be really cool to look back on as she's growing, because I watched the 3-month one. She was so tiny compared to now. So I thought we would do it again this month for her 4-month pup date. But we are gonna switch it up a little bit because y'all had so many questions. I got so many comments or just DMs and everything about last month's video about her, of how we're doing things, or just being shocked at how she knows a certain trick, or how I crate trained her, potty training, all that kind of stuff, which I tried to just kind of mention. You just went potty. Again, she does this thing where she doesn't go fully potty outside. She'll ring the bell and go pee, come inside, walk around, and then be like, oh yeah, I do have to poop. Sit, stay, break. Good girl, go potty. Which is exactly what happened because she's going potty right now, and I'm gonna not show you guys that. But it's funny, I'm trying to get her to like just, you know, empty everything out at once. Every time. Every time. As I was saying, little Miss is now 4 months old. Oh my goodness. Griffin says that he would not be mad if she stayed this size forever. I can't wait till she gets full size. Like the 40 to 50 pound weight mark is just gonna be perfect. Prime cuddling size, you know, like you hop in bed and you guys can just cuddle. Like that's what I'm looking forward to. But what I was saying before we went potty again was that we're switching up today's video because y'all had so many questions before. I asked you guys to ask me questions over on my Instagram for her or for us and how we do things. And so today's video is of course gonna be a day in the life of Freya, a nice little daily vlog so you can get a look at her schedule, what's been going on, the differences between her 3-month and 4-month, just how she's grown, what else she knows, all the details. But also I'll just be answering y'all's questions about Freya, our system, training, like whatever you guys ask, we're gonna be answering those questions throughout the day. Unfortunately, it's a little rainy and gloomy outside. It's not raining right now, which is good because it is time to get our day started, start the morning routine with little Miss Freya. I still wake her up at like 7 a.m. just to go potty, and then she takes a nap for 2 hours while I can work out, get ready, make breakfast, all that kind of stuff, which you guys already saw. It was just way too early to be talking to the camera. And then she actually wakes up at 9 a.m. So her morning begins at 9, and a new thing has been added to our morning routines, which I am so excited about. Since her 3-month pup date video to now, she is now fully vaccinated, so she can go on walks, we can go to dog parks, she can go doggy daycare, she can do all the things, which is really freaking exciting. So I take her on morning walks every single morning at like 9 a.m. Usually we're out here for about a half hour, just to kind of let her sniff around, do what dogs do, get some energy out in the mornings. And I've really, really loved this change of our morning routine since being 4 months. since we're still so new to going on walks and everything, I am always basically training her at all times, but also while we're out on walks, because everything is new to her and she needs to learn how to walk well on a leash and to like leave things alone when I ask her to and all that good stuff, walk to heel. So we're constantly working on all of that when we're out on our walks, which is why I always have this on me, which is essentially a like fanny pack pouch for dog treats. So we'll practice certain things like, Freya, leave it. Yes. And as soon as she leaves it, yes, good girl, she gets a treat. Whenever she's walking to heel really well, we're giving her treats. We'll also just practice like stopping and sitting, waiting to cross the street, manners and stuff like that. If we ever cross people or other dogs, making sure that she's not like lunging at them, she waits for them to pass. So we're just constantly working on different things while we're out on the walks, because good opportunity to. So let's talk about food. I got asked what kind of food Freya eats, and right now she eats the Purina 1 large puppy breed food. That is the food that the breeder was using with her, so we are finishing off the giant like 35-pound bag that we have before we switch her to something else. We do not plan to keep her on that food, but that is what she's eating right now. In her 3-month video, I broke down exactly how much she was eating, literally from 8 weeks until she was 3 months. So if you're curious of like how much we fed her as a puppy, go and watch that video. But for her 4-month and the entirety of her 4-month, she has been eating a cup of that food in the morning and a cup at night at the very least. In the mornings when we go on walks, in that treat pouch that I showed you guys, I actually just put her dog food in there. That's what we use as her training treats, especially when we're doing training in the mornings or at night around dinner time, because she has to eat breakfast anyways, and because she hasn't eaten yet, she's more driven to follow commands because she's gonna get food, and so I take advantage of that as much as I can. And so I put a whole cup of food into the treat pouch. We never use it all, but that's just easier for me to measure that way, and we use about half of it, so we have the other half here. However, I also do not let this go to waste. She very, very rarely eats out of a dog bowl, mainly because I just think it's a wasted opportunity for you guys to bond, train, or even just teaching her manners and stuff like that. And so especially for breakfast, she does not eat out of this bowl. She gets all of her food from me. I of course got asked what kind of tricks and commands Freya knows, so we will use the rest of her breakfast to kind of go through that, just to train her. That way she's, you know, doing something for her food, work on new tricks if I'm teaching her anything. But of course I will show you everything that she knows now. Freya, touch. Good girl. Yes, good girl. Lay down. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Sit. Yes. Can you spin? Yes, good girl. Paw. Yes, good paw. Yes. Heel. Yes, good heel. Heel. Yes. Heel. Yes, good heel. Center. Yes, good center. Sit. Yes, good girl. Down. Yes, good girl. The fun part, which people absolutely love, is that she also knows all of her tricks with just hand signals. So that's my subtle flex of the day. Yes. Yes. Good girl. Yes. 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 Good girl. Yes. Good girl. Yes, good girl. Yes. 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 Good girl. Good girl. We also have names for like her bed, her place, her crate, so that way she knows those things. When we ask her to go to those things, she will go. So we also kind of just work through those just again so she doesn't forget. Great place. Yes, good place. Great, come. Yes, good, come, sit. Good girl. Go to your crate. Yes, good crate. Yes, good crate. Freya, place. Yes, good place. Go to your crate. actually just added a new bed to the place, so she hasn't quite learned the word bed for it, but it is something that sits in the living room at all times now at the edge of our couch. And that's really like her nap place. If she wants to nap out here, she'll choose some of her toys on there, but it is mainly used for any kind of treats that we give her, because we of course do not want to give her anything from the kitchen, like while we're cooking or anything like that, because we don't want her to get used to begging there. So if she ever wants anything, she has to come to either her place, which is inside of her pen, or that bed to get like food and even treats that we give her other than like training treats. If we're giving her like a bone or a Kong or just like a bigger treat, all of that needs to be eaten on the bed just to avoid messes in the house. And then she has a place that she knows she gets good stuff from. Can you show them your bed? Yes, good bed. Good bed. Sit. Good girl. Go to your bed. That's your place. Go to your bed. Yes, good bed. Yes, good bed. Breakfast all done. We're all done. Yes, right up. Good girl. You can get up. You can get up. Thank you. So our morning walk and like training, eating breakfast, all that usually takes up the full hour. If it doesn't, we just hang out and I kind of wait for her to get tired, because she usually does. She'll fall asleep either on the couch or in her bed or in her place. And we just kind of hang out, because half of the training is training her to be a normal dog outside of her pen, which has been hard for her lately, because as a puppy, like we have to put her down for a nap. Sit, right up. Good girl. Yes, hi there, my love. Hi dear. But she used to have to be put up to take naps, and we kind of want her to put herself to sleep and stuff like that, be able to shut herself off. And so that's kind of what we work on for the rest of the hour in the morning from 9 to 10 if we have any time left. But another question I got regarding like training, since we're on the topic, was what is my best tips for training? And I will say the most important thing for training is literally just consistency. And you guys are probably like, no, Marissa, like tell us, like how is Freya so well trained? Like what did you do? What's your secret? It's literally just consistency. What I mean by that is that you have to train your dog the exact same way every single time. When you make a rule or you set a boundary, you have to stick to it every single time, or your dog will get confused. So for example, getting up on the furniture. Freya has never been able to get up on the furniture unless she sits first and we ask her to come up. Even if she comes up to us and sits down, that doesn't mean she's automatically granted access to the couch. She has to be invited up. We will never break that, because as soon as we do, she'll be like, oh, well, I didn't have to ask that one time, which means I can keep doing it. No. Tip break, but this is what we want. She kind of just took herself over there and she's getting ready to just settle down and take a nap, which is perfect, and that's exactly what we want. Another example is anytime we go through doors, she has to sit and wait before she can come through the door. She has to be granted access to leave a door, and that will come in handy, because as we do that consistently, if for whatever reason the door is left open or we're trying to get groceries in or something like that, she'll never get it in her mind that like I can run out this door and run away, because I've never been allowed to leave the door unless mom and dad say yes. And you have to be consistent, because the one time you don't do it, she will forever know that she can do that thing sometimes, and then we'll test that every single time. But consistency also comes in handy when you're talking about actual training. So the way that I train her is consistent. I use the same words every single time for a certain trick or command, so she knows that word means that. Oh, she cuddled up next to me. Look at her. Oh, good girl. But even how you perform that trick should be consistent. You shouldn't give her treats when she's doing down, but she's not all the way down. You know, you want her elbows, like doggy elbows, on the ground. That is when you give her the treat, or else she'll learn like, I don't have to lay all the way down and I'll still get a treat. Consistency has saved our butts in a lot of the areas, like I already mentioned, boundaries, but also with those like really annoying things that people hate. It's like the problem areas of dogs, like puppy biting, like jumping on the counters, like stuff like that. Consistency is what will save your butt. So yes, Freya still nips at us sometimes because she's still a puppy, but the nipping has decreased significantly. Like her 8 to maybe 12 weeks, awful. But we were consistent, and that sometimes it felt like she wasn't getting any better even though we were consistent, but it has paid off. I've mentioned this before, but I can definitely dive into like specific training tips or do certain like training videos for certain things. So if there's something that you guys want to see a deeper explanation on specifically, let me know in the comments, because I can do that. But as far as just my number one tip for training overall, consistency. Big stretch, big stretch. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, big yawn. I did get a question about how we trained Freya to do that. And honestly, it took not even a week to do, but it did take her maybe like 2 weeks to start doing it like on her own, unprompted. But it goes back to my tip before about consistency. The day we brought her home, every time we would take her outside, which was a lot, we would set her down right here, sit. And she was a lot littler at this point, but what we would do is just pick up her paws and hit the bell and say, good girl, give her treats for that, and also use the cue, which was let's go potty. And so that way she would start to learn like, oh, let's go potty means bell, which means treats, which means go outside. And it sounds like it's a lot. Okay, let's go. I know. Sit. Good, sit. Stay. Break. Go potty. While she does that, it does sound like it's a lot, but again, it's just consistency. Every time we took her out, we rang the bell for her, gave her a treat just so she would know that like that's a good behavior that she was doing. We don't do that anymore. She does not get treats every time she rings the bell. Literally, we only did that for like the first 3 days. Hey, come here. Go outside. I did not let you in. Sit. Come inside. Good girl. Good girl. She definitely does not get treats anymore, literally just probably for the first 3 days, so she would know that that was a good behavior. And every time she rang the doorbell, we would pick her up because she was such a puppy and took her outside to go potty. So then she would learn that ringing the bell is good, but also ringing the bell means we get to go outside to go potty. I would honestly say it hasn't been until maybe the last week or two that she's been able to go out on the porch for other reasons other than going potty, because we did want that space to only be going potty. We didn't want her to be ringing the bell just to go sit outside, because we want the bell to just mean potty. So if sometimes she still does ring the bell and then we can tell that she just wants to go stand outside, we're like, go potty, let's go potty, and she goes to the pet loo, goes potty, we bring her right back inside, because she needs to learn that the bell doesn't mean I'm gonna go chill outside. We decide when she can go chill outside, the bell only means potty. But if you're wanting to teach your dog to do this at home, I swear it was so easy. It literally only took a week for her to do it. I will link the bells that we bought off Amazon down below in the description box if you guys are curious. There's tons of them though. But yeah, you just take her to the bells, you say let's go potty, ring the bell for her, give her a treat, take her right outside to go potty. She goes potty, give her a treat again, say good potty, good girl, go potty, whatever word you're using for that, and then bring her right back inside. And that's it. So it took her about a week to learn like let's go potty meant, oh, I ring the bell and then I go outside to go potty. And then maybe like 2 weeks of us doing that, and we'd have to like put her in front of the bell and she would do it every time. Probably since the last video, so like 3 to 4 months, the last like 4 weeks or so, she has been able to ring that on her own and let us know every time she needs to go potty. And I'm never worried about her having accidents in the house anymore. We haven't had accidents in the house since her first week or two, if that. She's been so good about it. So I trust her to ring the bells. She always does whenever she needs to go potty, and it's such a quick trick to learn. So you guys should teach your pups.
Little Miss does love sitting outside though. She loves to be outside. It stopped raining. Do you want to go to the dog park? Do you want to go to dog park? Let's do that while it's not raining, huh? Freya, touch. Good girl, sit. Break. Good girl, yes.
Another question that I got was if I would recommend this kind of dog for someone who's in school for 8 hours a day. And I would say absolutely not, unfortunately. I honestly wouldn't even recommend a dog if you are in school for 8 hours every day. If you're in school and you want a pet, highly recommend cats. They are very self-sufficient. You need time to give your dog the life that it deserves, because it's a living, breathing, having a soul being that has their own like aspirations and like things that they want to do. She loves to play outside. She loves to go outside. She loves to be doing something. Why would I deprive her of that? Going off of that though, someone else asked how much exercise she actually needs. And again, the breed itself never stops. It won't stop because it's a working breed. Like they could be absolutely exhausted, but if you have them do another job and you're like, hey, do this thing, they're gonna do it. They're gonna want to please you. They're gonna want to complete that task, and that's just the breed of an Australian Shepherd. I will say, of course, that every dog is different, and even every Australian Shepherd is going to be different. Their temperaments are really what kind of dictates how much energy they have to disperse. But I try my best to make sure that she is exhausted every single day, and that's why we're about to go to the dog park. Come on. Good girl. Break. Sit. Yes, good sit. Bring it up. Good girl, yes. Already, do you guys notice something different? Like I her. She's doing so good. If you guys have been watching for a while, you know that I've been struggling with Freya's like car anxiety. I want to say that her anxiety in the car hasn't even gotten any better until the last like 2 weeks. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what made it happen. I don't know if it was just kind of like a switch, or I don't know if it's, again, the consistency that I've been doing. Who knows? But I'm happy about it. She doesn't whine in the car anymore. She usually just hangs out back there. She doesn't really jump up here that often. She still will once in a blue moon, but of course, consistency, I get her off. She now starts to stick her head out of the window, which is really fun. She wants to do it right now. Oh, but she's so cute. So she's becoming a dog and I love it. I'm glad that she is not anxious in the car anymore and she doesn't have accidents in my car anymore. Thank the Lord. But going back to the question about her exercise, essentially every dog is different, of course, but with Freya right now at her age, we do, of course, a half-hour walk in the morning. You will also see it, but we do a half-hour walk at night. And just like when she was 3 months old, we try to do something fun or some sort of socialization activity every day. It's just better because now that she's vaccinated, we can do really fun stuff like going to the dog park. It just gives us more options, of course, but lately, since she's been vaccinated, I'm taking her to the dog park midday every day. We usually are there for at least an hour, if not 2. And so right now I would say she gets about 3 hours of exercise on a regular day. And that seems to work pretty good for her. She seems to be tired out. She seems to be a happier dog that way. With her age, we can't really exercise her too much. We want to be gentle on her, you know, joints and everything, but taking advantage of what we can do to tire her out, because a tired dog is a happy dog. There's not that many doggos here, but I assumed it's not raining right now, which is why I wanted to take advantage of this time. Good girl. Come here. Sit. Good girl. Break. Good girl. There were some doggos here for a little bit, only like 2 or 3. She met another Aussie doodle and they had fun running around and playing, but everybody just left. It started to sprinkle a little bit harder, so we're gonna hang out here by ourselves for a little bit at least. But let me go ahead and answer one other question, which is how hyper is little Miss here? Huh? On a scale of 1 to 10, huh? What do you think? Are you gonna get in that mud puddle? Don't drink that muddy water. I have clean water for you. Do you see her blowing bubbles? She's literally just trying to dig in this mud puddle. What are you doing? As far as her hyperness, I can say before she was fully vaccinated, her hyper levels were probably like an 8 to a 10 because she just had so much energy that she couldn't release because she was stuck inside the apartment. We had a lot more behavioral issues. You are getting so muddy. Oh, I'm glad she's having fun. We had a lot more biting. We had a lot more jumping. We just had a lot more of the bad behaviors that we didn't like. Oh my God, she has both paws in here. Oh my God, You're gonna hit me with water. Oh, this is so dirty. Oh my God, look at her. Look at her. You are But since getting vaccinated, she has been so much better. Like her hyperness is like non-existent. Like when we're here, when we're at the dog park, it's like a 10. You know, she's running around, she wants to play with dogs, that's great. But when we're at home, she's not hyper. We don't really have any of the biting or the jumping problems like we do anymore because we bring her here to get all that energy out. So that way when we get home, she's tired. So on like a daily basis at home, her hyperness is definitely below a 5. But before vaccination, man, that was an 8 to a 10 every day. Like it was crazy every day. We are at the dog park right now and this is literally playing in a mud puddle. Do you see how muddy she is? Oh, look at your face. Oh my God, look at your face. Oh, you just got... Oh my God. Are you proud of your puddle? Look at you. You are a mess. It's starting to rain again and half of me just wants to sit here in the rain and clean off. And she's still in the mud puddle. Like she's already dirty, so it's like I'm not gonna pull her out. We already have to take a bath. But I swear I have mud in my contact lenses. Oh God. Freya, come. Good girl, sit. Good girl. Are you ready to leave? Because you need a bath. And I need to change my clothes. But you know what? We don't come to the dog park to stay clean. If you're not ready for your dog to get dirty, do not go to the dog park because this is their chance to have fun. Like that's why I bring her, is for her to have fun and to do stuff like this. Yes, it's like highly inconvenient, but I can't expect her to stay clean at the dog park. So I can't be mad at her. Right up. Yes, good girl. Thank goodness for this waterproof hammock in the car. Oh my goodness. Looks like y'all get to see an impromptu bath time. I look amazing. I know I left her in my car for like 3 seconds because I need to prep the bath for her essentially because I can't have her run around the apartment all muddy. So I need to prep the sink. We need to get her a sticky mat full of peanut butter. I don't even, what do I do? I don't know. This water is just black. Good girl. Yes. Oh. Yes, I still have mud on my face. She's the priority right now, but she is clean. She's all wet. That's okay. You show everybody how clean you are? You're so clean now. Yes. I was muddy, now I'm just soaked. And now she has to go potty. As I was saying, we're just gonna continue as normal, which usually when we come back from the dog park, she gets a nice little treat. And it's more than just her dog food. She gets an actual like treaty treat, snacky snack thing. And I know that this snack might gross a lot of you out because it actually grosses me out a lot. Right now, Freya eats kibble, as you guys know. However, I wanna start introducing some raw things into her diet because dogs really thrive off of eating raw diets because it's what they would naturally eat in the wild as dogs. Usually in the middle of the day, after the dog park, after we go do an event or something, this is so gross. She gets a raw chicken paw. And let me tell you, she freaking loves them. She's sitting right here next to me waiting for it. Are you ready for your chicken paw? Oh, sit. You know better. Yes, good girl. Use your manners. Goodness. And this is one of the instances where the bed comes in handy because I don't want her eating raw chicken all over my house. So she has to eat it in bed. Down. Good girl. Stay. Break. Good girl. Yes. And she just lays in bed and eats it. And since it's frozen, it takes her a little bit to get through. She just gets to gnaw on it and she eats it. And it's good for her. Was your chicken paw good? Up. Good girl. Yes, good girl. What? What? Goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. No. Oh, big stretch. Oh my goodness, good morning. Oh. My hair looks atrocious after being rained on, so we're just gonna keep it at this clip for the rest of the video. I know. Thank you. Thank you for the kisses. I was shocked at the amount of questions that I got actually just regarding this baby gate and Kitty and how Kitty and Freya do together. But essentially, no, they do not hang out just yet. They are still separated by the baby gate at all times. They will sit there and like sniff at each other or whatever, and I am okay with that. I would much rather take this slow and steady and take our time with it and set them both up for success than to rush anything and risk either of them getting hurt. She's literally wanting belly rubs right now. The gate was open at one point on accident and Freya did go and try to chase Kitty. Not anything vicious. There was no like barking or growling or anything like that, but she obviously like went after Kitty and Kitty ran, and so we had to stop Freya. And it's just stuff like that that I don't want to happen. I don't want Freya to chase Kitty, but they're just not ready for that yet. I want to make sure that Freya's recall is like perfect, and also she just doesn't get distracted from things like that, because if she's doing tricks and Kitty walks into the room or something, or if Freya's sitting on the couch and Kitty walks in the room, I don't want Freya to have to always be like, oh my god, there's a freaking cat, and like go crazy every time. Or if she does, again, her recall is great and I can get her to stop. We're taking it slow and steady, and once Freya matures a little bit more, because I just want them to be successful when they meet and hang out. Good paw. That's a good paw. But it is 6 o'clock and this is when little Miss gets to come out and do some more playing, and we have dinner in this hour, so we're just hanging out. She just woke up. I already took her potty and she's still just kind of lethargic, which is normal right when she wakes up. We're just kind of rubbing bellies and hanging out, but she will soon start playing. We have actually all of her toys in this toy bin, which is new, and it has been amazing because she will just dump it out like on her own, get in there, dig out whatever she wants. And I think we had a question asking like what her favorite toys are, and I could pick out a few that are definitely her favorite. She loves this one. but she doesn't use it how it's supposed to be used. And she still likes to play with her toys in my lap. She's not yet too big, but she's getting there. So I will soak in as much time as I can get of her playing in my lap because it's my favorite thing. But she loves to just chew on this toy. It's supposed to suction cup to the ground and you're supposed to be able to play like tug with it. It doesn't work like that, but she still likes to chew on it and just to have fun with it. She also really likes her tennis ball. Ready? Ready? Go get it. Bring it here. Yes, good girl, yes. We're still working on leave it so we can actually play fetch. Leave it. Yes, good, leave it. Look at her. She usually will play fetch with that tennis ball for a while. Oh, let's see what she gets. What are you getting? Oh, yes, good girl. We have tons of these style toys, which are just tiny little things with rope on them, and she loves to chew these. And this one used to be her pride and joy. It still is one of her favorites, but there used to be an actual water bottle in here, but she ripped off the squeaker from it, and so it no longer works exactly how it used to. It used to be much more entertaining and make a lot more noise because there'd be just like a empty water bottle in here, but she still likes to chew on fluff part of it. But if you didn't catch it, it is a tequila bottle. So like mother, like daughter, huh?
Are you coming in my lap?
Oh, hi.
Hey, my love.
Don't mind me, it is really freaking sunny outside, but Freya loves to come outside and just people watch and dog watch because like dogs walk by or people or whatever. She could spend hours out here. So we usually try to spend the evening hours out here because it's usually really warm, the sun is setting, and it's really pretty for me to come out here and like sit too. And then she gets to chill outside. She usually just lays down either underneath me. She's still big enough, she usually sits in the seat next to me, but I can tell that she's starting to get a little bit too big.
Yeah, we just people watch it, huh?
And honestly, we'll usually sit out here until Griffin comes home because he usually comes home around the 7 o'clock time, between 7 and 7:30.
Do you know who just pulled into the parking lot? You probably have no idea, but it's Dad. Dad is home. I'm giving you a heads up. Oh my goodness. Look at that nub. Dad's home. Look at that nub. Oh, goodness.
Oh, you look so clean.
I know, after today.
You look so clean.
Go to your bed. Yes, good girl. Break. Good girl. If you can believe it, Little Miss scarfed her food down in like 0.3 seconds, even with the food puzzle. One part of her schedule that has changed since 3 months to 4 months is that she spends a lot more time outside of her crate and her pen and stuff. So I allow her to have more freedom and free range of like her space besides like what's beyond the kitty gate. Like right now she's out on the porch just people watching and I have the door open so she can go in and out as she pleases. And she's just a little happier pup, and then she can play, she can get her toys out of her bin on her own. Before they used to sit on top of her crate and we would have to get them for her. So just changing stuff up to make sure that she's more independent and can like be a dog on her own without us having to constantly, 1, watch her, 2, off, good girl, entertain her, and 3, like be worried about her. You know, I'm not worried about her going potty or like having any accidents, so I don't even blink like leaving her out here. The only thing is I wouldn't leave her out while we leave because she definitely can get antsy when we're gone. I know I got a question about like separation anxiety and if we deal with that and how we deal with that. So I can tell that she gets a little nervous when we leave. One thing that we do that does help with her separation anxiety when we actually leave her like in the crate and everything, which she never really has issues in her crate, but a Kong. Life-changing. This keeps her busy forever. Fill it with peanut butter, put it in her crate. She's at it for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so, and we're already long gone by then. And then she just goes to bed or does whatever she does after that. One way to make it better is we will fill a Kong and you can put it in the freezer like the day before if you know you're gonna be gone for a while, because then that'll make it last like 2 times longer with frozen peanut butter. Or I also give her Greek yogurt and freeze it. And that's really all we try to do, is give her something fun to do in the crate when we leave, so that way she's not dreading us leaving. She does really like to sit on this little rug here in the kitchen, which I think is adorable. We tried to do a lot of stuff proactively to not have separation anxiety. For example, from the beginning, we would not like hype up us leaving or going. Like when we put her in her crate, we're not like, oh my God, I love you, oh my God, I love you, I love you, I'm gonna miss you so much, oh my God, and then leave, because then she's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then the same thing when you come home, you don't really pay attention to her. Now, Griffin sucks at it, which you've already seen. He loves to hype up him coming home, which does suck because she will whine when he leaves sometimes. But she doesn't really do it for me because I don't pay any attention to her. I will put her in her crate like 5 or 10 minutes before I leave, and then I just leave. I don't say anything to her, I go. And even when I come back, I will leave her in there for like 5 to 10 minutes, and then I will take her out so she knows that me coming and me going isn't a life-changing event. There's things that you can do proactively for separation anxiety. We definitely don't have it like down to a science.
What about your separation anxiety?
I have separation anxiety, yes. Speaking of my own separation anxiety, I did get a question about why Freya goes to doggy daycare. If you didn't know, if you don't follow like my Instagram and stuff like that, we take her to doggy daycare now every so often. I think she's only been like 3 days so far. She just started going like last week. And the first day we dropped her off, I cried. It was so nerve-wracking just like dropping her off. I felt like a mom that was dropping their kid off at kindergarten. Like, what do you do? Like, it was so sad. But to answer the question of why we take her to doggy daycare, is the main reason socialization for her. She needs to be able to play with other dogs, get used to other dogs, all that kind of stuff, which is hard to do with COVID. I take her to the dog parks, as you guys know, but I would prefer to go to a doggy daycare over a dog park because it is supposed to be more safe. You know, she had to go through an evaluation to go to doggy daycare, so all the dogs have to be evaluated to make sure that their temperaments and everything are fine to be in doggy daycare. There's also workers that are, you know, paid to be there and make sure everything's going well, versus like going to a dog park and everybody's dog's just being off leash, and things can happen. There's a lot of untrained dogs out there, and there's just so many horror stories of dogs getting like bit or even killed at dog parks, which is scary. So we do a little bit of both, but I would prefer the socialization to be happening at doggy daycare. And it also allows me to get more work done because I can drop her off for a day and like edit all day. I am really bound by Freya during the days because my schedule is just revolving around her and whatever she needs. Another snack that Freya loves is ice cubes.
Put your place. Good girl.
There's ice cube. Yeah.
In our 3-month video, Freya was basically on pretty much a very strict schedule. So she'd be down for a nap right now from 7 to 9, but it's about 7:47. And so in the evenings, we try to leave her out for as long as possible, basically until we eat dinner. Once we're eating, she goes in her pen just because we don't want her begging or getting used to that kind of stuff.
Oh, good girl. Good jumpies. Good jumps.
Good girl, yes.
Freya. Good girl, yes. Good Freya, sit. Stay.
Good girl, yes. Frick. Good girl, yes. Good girl. You're Nikki.
Go to your bed. Good bed. You sit. You stay. Break.
Good sit. Break. Go potty. Good girl. Yes, good girl. I didn't even have to ask you. You're so smart.
Little Miss just went down for bed. It is 10 o'clock, which is her bedtime. But I did get 2 questions regarding like the crate and crate training. And someone asked if I would recommend it because of course they always feel bad putting their dog in the crate, which is completely normal, but I would highly recommend crate training. I genuinely don't know what we would do without the crate. The number one reason honestly is just to keep her safe because obviously we can't watch her at night. We're sleeping. And sometimes she does wake up, and if she wakes up, she's gonna get into something. So that just contains her to things that she cannot chew, which means she's not gonna ruin our stuff, which means she's not gonna eat stuff she shouldn't and get sick or swallow a whole sock or something stupid. It's just to keep her safe. And also when we leave the house, to put her in her crate to keep her safe for that same reason. If you guys watched the vlog of us bringing her home, you would know that she of course whined like crazy the first night, which was completely normal in her crate, and ended up sleeping like right here next to her crate, which is also really normal. However, it only took about like a week for us to get her to just go into her crate without like whining constantly. And the key to do that is to just make the crate a happy place. Inside this pin right here is where we would do all of our trainings from like 8 weeks to I swear 12 weeks old. I would sit on her bed and practice all of her tricks there and do sits and lay downs and everything. And that's honestly when I started teaching her how to go to her crate as like an actual command, which tonight she just did it on her own because she knows it's bedtime, and that's where you get with like consistency. But from day one, I would just throw treats in there and she would have to go in there to go get them, and that was already just building a positive association with the crate. So always giving her treats in there. We would feed some of her meals in there, whether she had treats and stuff like that. She would eat them in the crate at first. Now she's eating them in this bed because she already has a positive association with the crate. But treats galore, meals eaten in there. Also just again playing in and around the crate, like we're making the crate a happy place, not something that she has to go to every time she's away from us. Even putting her down for naps in there is helpful because she knows that like, oh, every time I go in here, it's not going to be me going in here for 8 hours and my mom and dad are gone. It's, oh, I'm going to go in here, but mom's going to sit right next to me, and that's totally okay. The number one thing though to build a positive association with the crate is to not use it for anything negative ever. We do not use it as a punishment. Even her pin, her play pin and her crate are not punishments. It's not timeouts. If she does something wrong, she does not get put in there. We do not use that at all for negative reinforcement of any kind. It is only positive. All she gets is praise for going inside. She gets treats for going inside. She gets praise when she just sits in her place on her own. Like all of that is positive only. But the last question is, how many times did we have to take her out at night to get her into a routine of sorts when she was especially a puppy and up until now? And I think I kind of talked about this in her 3-month video, but to recap. So for the first like week or two, she was going out every hour on the hour, and that included in the middle of the night. So she went to bed at 10, we took her out at 11, midnight, 1, 2, and Griffin and I would just alternate every hour, and we had alarms set on our phones. We would take her out every hour on the hour. And then after about 2 weeks of that, we moved to every 2 hours. So it'd go 10, midnight, 2, 4, 6, 8. And then we moved to about 4 hours, and even though she went to bed at 10, we would still let her out one more time at midnight just so we could get the most sleep of like 4 o'clock, and then 8 a.m. we wake up anyways. And I think we're on about week 2 now of sleeping like all through the night, and then she will last all the way until I get up at 7 a.m. to like get up and go do my yoga and stuff like that. And it genuinely has been life-changing for her to sleep all through the night, but that's only been happening recently. So if you have a puppy, you're trying to get into a routine, it does take time and it takes discipline and a lot of sleep deprivation, a lot of caffeine, all of that will be involved. But I'm so thankful that we've gotten to the point at like 3.5 months to 4 months that she's sleeping all through the night. I am a brand new woman and I am so thankful. But I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night because my bedtime is also 10 p.m. since I wake up at 7. Kitty loves to sit on top of her crate. It's like, are you trying to like be alpha? Yeah. Good night.